Hey, so welcome to Scale Model Addict. My name is still Scott, and we're going to continue with the Mac build this week, or, well, I don't know if it's going to be all of this week, but for now anyways, I'm doing decals, and there's nothing really crazy to show about that. Some there. There's some there. Okay, but the thing is, I'm doing this number 3 camo scheme from the previous... Well, let's roll the intro credits and we'll get to it. Just to recap, I'm going for that scheme, and there's an 8-ball on there. I've got the wave release, which doesn't have that decal sheet in it. And a guy named Stefan, if I'm pronouncing your name right, sent me a scan of the decal sheet. Thank you, Stefan. I appreciate it. Or Stefan. Maybe it's Stefan. Anyways, thank you. So what I've done, I have some Micromark white decal sheet. And it kind of sucks. I'm printing on a laser printer. A nice high-end Xerox laser printer. And as soon as I put it in the water, everything runs. So I tried blasting a clear coat over it, and actually I used the tester's can clear coat stuff. And that just made it really wonky when I used the water to try to set it, and I used Microset and I used Microsol. Nothing worked. So I found another solution. So there you can see I have got an 8-ball happening. Here's how I did it. So first up, I am going to mask off a white circle. Got some Tamiya tape and a piece of aluminum foil, just to give the tape something not to stick to, I guess. And I've got one of these punches here. Got this at the dollar store. It's just a cheap craft punch, but it's the inside diameter of the 8. Now this is printed on Micromark clear decal sheet, which has always worked good for me. So this is roughly the same diameter as the inside of the 8. Most of you guys know where I'm going with this by now. Okay, so we're going to punch that out and put a hole in my thing. So alakazam, alakazoom, I've got a circle mask. So there I've got the mask on, and I burnished it with a toothpick just to make sure the edges are down nice and tight. I'm going to take some Vallejo white, just because I have it. Whoa, that's way more than I need. Alright. So I'm going to put a coat of white paint and kind of brush from the outside of that mask towards the center, just to hope that nothing runs underneath. And I'm only putting a light coat. So there's my little 8-ball cut out and already soaked in water. And this is just business as usual, of course. Now because of that texture, this doesn't want to sit down right tight. So I'm going to put some Microsol just to kind of work that decal in there. I don't want to move it again. I've had nothing but success with those Micromark clear sheets, and so far nothing but failures with the white ones. So there is the white decal cheat. And it looks pretty darn good. So just in case you're wondering, what's the big deal with white? Well, the thing is, you can't print white normally. With normal laser color printers or inkjet printers, they're using CMYK, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. And they can't render white. They can do a light gray, which is really just a very sparse series of little black dots to get their gray. So they're really not printing white. There is a solution, and it's called an Alps printer, and they use like ribbons. So kind of like if you think the old typewriter ribbons, not the clink clonk 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 ones, but the ones that had a ribbon in it. And so the Alps printers can do white, but I don't have one. And you can get them on eBay for a few $100, but nah, this works. If you're screen printing decal sheets, well then you're making a lot more decals than a figure eight. Because just the setup alone would cost a lot. Okay, let's move on. So I decided to put some numbers on this dude, number 2, because he's not number 1. Now, you'll notice the decals are pretty pristine, right? So if this dude's going to be beat up, and I'm thinking number 2 means he's the second oldest, so he'd been around for a while. We got to damage these decals a bit. I wanted to add a little something on that right shoulder there. So using the Dremel and a real sharp kind of diamond bit, I scratched 3 lines and then filled it in just with pencil. Just to try to show some kind of a scratch. I don't know if he would have got hit by a laser fire or some kind of machine took a swipe at him. Just some kind of battle damage there. Now I'm going to try some bullet holes on his back. Give a shot using this too, a Prismacolor marker. I just don't want too much silver to come out. So that's what that gives you. Then I'll just tone it down with a bit of lead or graphite, whatever they put in pencils these days. So here's a happy accident. One of these little hip plates just fell off. Too much me bugging with it. So I'm going to take the Dremel, I'm going to thin this side down in the middle a bit and try to get a few holes showing through. I've noticed a lot of old rusty trucks and the frame will rust right through. So I'm going to try to achieve just a little bit of this here. Why not, eh? Rusty hip. So there is the rusted through hip plate. We'll see how that looks after I get some grimy rust on it. Yeah, so I would say Mel is ready for another coat of future. Okay, I've went ahead and done some things without taping it, but here's what I did. After the decals, I did another coat of future, then I did some oil washes. I ended up scratching this into his shoulder, thinking I could kind of replicate some kind of battle damage. I don't know, turned out kind of wonky. I chewed up his hip. I think I got that on video. Anyways, I did washes, more rust, more washes, more rust. Put some hairspray on that rust to make it turn white. And just more oil washes and washes and washes and washes. And then I sealed everything in dull coat and did a little bit of pigments. You can see that stain running down there. Just black pigments, thinned with water, mixed with water. There's some more there. So that's basically where he's at. Pretty much done, I guess. I don't know. You could keep tinkering at this thing for hours and days, really. Trying to do all the stuff you want to do. But, like, it's weathered, it's dirty. I don't know. Scale Model Addict is brought to you by Badger Airbrush, Elm City Hobbies, Artograph, Model Man Tom, and Trillions. Be sure to check out ScaleModelAddict.com. We got lots of cool stuff including sprue views, tips and tricks, a great forum with lots of active members, and all kinds of other stuff.